I think, first it's everyone, getting everybody as safe as possible. Um, Anyone that's in an unfortunate situation, make sure we get them to safety. Um, People who are, uh, you know, in dangerous areas, trying to get everybody to safety. I think that's first, making sure we're checking in on our friends and loved ones to make sure everybody is good. I think that's first. Um, I think in times like this, it just reminds you the importance of living in community and working together, and why unity is so important, because there are going to come times where we all need each other, and this is one of those times where um, we have to lean on each other, and we'll all make it through it. And I think that's it. Let's all just think outside of ourselves, understanding that we all probably have something going on with our homes, with our materials, but they're just materials. But we need to make sure that all the people around us are okay. Um, and so I just think that just comes from looking outside of ourselves, and making sure that we're helping somebody that needs help, um, and just being resilient. I think the good thing, or the positive takeaway that we can have uh, from this is the Gulf Coast community is a resilient one. It has endured natural disasters before, has rebuilt, has recovered from it. And I think when you have something like that, that with confidence that you can make it through this. And so I just think it's going to be all of us working together, um, looking out for ourselves and our families, but not just ourselves, but those around us, just working in community and unity, and everybody just pitching in, and um, trusting that we're gonna make it through this together. Which I believe in our community, and I know we will.
Rod Walker, the advocate.
Hey, Demario, how tough is it to, try to balance football with, with real life in the back of your mind?
It comes with the territory. I think first and foremost, when something like this happens, you have to prioritize, and nothing goes in front of human life and human safety. And so you check with your family and friends first, and then you make sure everyone around you is good, and their friends and family. And once all the people are good, then it comes down to uh, the materials, the buildings, and all those things, and making sure the people are good. And I think once you know that everybody's good, from a health and wellness standpoint, it helps you process a little bit better, because material things can always be replaced. Um, and at the end of the day, we still have a job to do. The show goes on, and nobody's going to be stopping the NFL season because New Orleans Saints is going through this, and so um, we still have a job to do. But to whom much is given, much is required. As part of the territory, we have to be able to dual shift our minds. So, tapping into reality and never losing sight of that, but also, maintaining focus and everything required to get the job done. We go out here and practice in a couple hours. We got to be locked in, and we won't be able to bring, this into that space. And so, but as we go in and out, we still have to stay in tune with reality, and understand that, people's lives have been seriously impacted, and people are going to need a lot of help rebuilding, and recovering from this. And so us being, not there, we still, I don't think, can understand the full ramifications of it. And so, like, most of us don't even what our places look like and whatnot. But, you know, it just comes with the territory. And so not only will we be, you know, looked to and responsible for making sure that we stay on track, but also helping others.
Catherine Terrell, The Athletic.
Hey, Demario, how's your family holding up through all of this?
My family's good. So the organization did a good job of evacuating us and our family. And so my entire family is here. My wife, my 4 kids, and one on the way. My kids think they on vacation right now. They don't. They don't know. They're so young, and so they're seeing a lot of their friends, and so they just run around and playing. You know, I think they're not at the age where they can fully grasp, you know, what a natural disaster is just yet. And so my wife, of course, she's doing as best she can, but you know, you have to pick up and leave your home suddenly and trying to prepare, you know, for 4 kids. And then I checked in on all my external family. Everybody's good. You know, a lot of people out of power, no significant damage. And so, yeah, everybody in my camp is doing well.
I'm really glad they're all safe. And you know, just packing up and leaving for myself was hard enough. I can't imagine how hard it was on you and your wife to have to pack up and leave with you know, very young children. And I'm sure there's a lot going through your mind, and you automatically leave and then you realize what you forgot. So just hope that, you know, we all handle this the best we can, I guess.
Yeah, that's the part, you know, I feel like is what we're all gonna have to kind of just work together. It's because there's so much unknown, like the way that the storm came in and the way the evacuation process, everybody just kind of had to pick up and go. Like I remember calling my wife and saying, hey, you know, be at the hotel tonight. You know, we gotta, you know, get the kids ready and go out. And we had dinner with the Davises on that Friday. And so, you know, leaving that and then getting to the hotel so that we could leave out on Saturday. And, you know, getting everybody on planes and getting here, you know, thank the Lord, just everybody can be in a safe place. But, you know, now being here, not knowing, you know, when we're going to be able to go back, what that's going to look like. And so I know a lot of people are trying to juggle that and what that means for them. And so it can feel a lot like, you know, chaos. And I think just the better that, you know, we all can, you know, lean on each other and just remind we're going to make it through it. Just kind of got to deal with it day by day, moment by moment. And, you know, it's in times like this because you don't have necessarily a plan to say, hey, it's going to be X, Y, and Z. You kind of have to be able to call audibles and, you know, deal with the game, you know, on the flow. And so I think we get that a lot when you play a game like ours. But when you bring that into life, you know, it's trying to be able to manage that chaos with a bunch of other people that may not have had as many reps doing that. And so I think that's, you know, when our leadership can be brought to the forefront a little bit, and we have to accept that.
Amy Just, The Advocate.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Tam and the kids and your mom, but you alluded to it a little bit. Just what goes through your mind when, you know, on Friday you've got dinner with the Davises and, you know, you go from, okay, we've got a game Saturday to, okay, it's moved up to, okay, it's canceled to, okay, we're evacuating. And now we're just kind of in limbo. Like what goes through your mind when, you know, so much is changing?
Yeah, as a husband and a father, you know, I always have to think like, okay, how do I put them in the most, you know, successful or beneficial situation? And so when Sean gave us the news that we were going to be leaving and we didn't know where we were going to be going at first, I had to call and just say, you know, hey, babe, we're going to be leaving town. So just prepare the kids because I don't know what the magnitude of it is. And so the biggest thing for us is my wife is due October the 7th. And so like how far out from a flight, how far can she fly or how close is she to where she's in the no-fly zone. And so that was the biggest part of having to wait. Now, you know, but also we have family in Mississippi. You know, both our parents stay in Mississippi. So, you know, was it load up and send them to Mississippi, or was it bring them with me? And so a lot of that depended on where we stayed. And so I know if we would have been in, I think we talked about a couple of places, but Dallas actually fell a little like right in her window, and she called the doctor and said that she could fly to Dallas. She wouldn't have been able to drive here. So like that was the biggest thing that we had to weigh was her. And I knew I wanted her and the kids with me, but at the same time, if it would have been more beneficial to have them drive to Mississippi, then that was going to be the case. But also when the storm was coming in, you could kind of see it was kind of taking a similar path of Katrina, where it seemed like Katrina went right down 55, right up 55. And so it kind of seemed like, you know, in Mississippi, they would be without power. So we weren't sure. So luckily she could fly. So she packed the bag before she went and did dinner with Davis. I went and met with her. Then my mom wasn't planning on coming. So I had to talk with her and see if she would be able to come out just to be able to help with the kids and whatnot. So it was a lot of managing. We had a few people at the house who had to take a different route. And so that was kind of all the different things that we were managing. But fortunately, we got everybody to safe locations. The family is here and everybody's good. And now we're just in limbo. And I think we kind of knew that. I mean, the initial plan was to be going back on Wednesday, you know, just hoping that it would just power out. But at the same time, I think looking at the storm, you could kind of tell that it was going to be, you know, significant impact. And so, you know, now we're here. And so like, what is the future hold in store? You know, and I think a lot of times you can take it for granted. You know, we're in this hotel, we're safe. My kids are safe, my wife is safe, but everybody doesn't have that situation, right? And so our heart is with them, you know, and just being, you know, grateful for what we have, but understanding. And I think that's the way we have to think about it. Like, you cannot just think about yourself and your loved ones. You got to think about everybody in these type of situations, because you win when everybody wins, not just yourself. And so I think just in this limbo and, you know, trying to just wait out the information and know what the next steps are, and, you know, and just, you know, continue to praying for those that may not be in as fortunate situations, hoping that they get to more fortunate ones.
Yeah. Is your mom here? It sounded like maybe she was. I'm just asking a follow-up on that.
Yeah. So on our side, my mom is here. Our kids are here. And one of our children's old nanny is here. She was in town coming to visit. And so she's here.
Thanks.
Then Jory Epstein with the USA Today.
Mario, you mentioned the challenge of being a husband, a father, and then also a team leader. How do you think through the balance of all of these different people you're trying to help keep calm in this situation? What have conversations been like with your teammates at the hotel the last couple of days and in team meetings this morning?
I think it's so much information, you know, up in the air. Like I said, everybody was getting their families and themselves situated the past couple of days. You know, Sean gave us, you know, the opportunity to do that. And now it's back to work today. And, you know, it's getting a lot of information of what, you know, the next 48 to 72 hours are going to look like. And I think now it's literally just, you know, you lead by example. It's not a lot to be said because it's chaotic, and there's so much that's still in the air. And so you don't have a lot of necessarily information to give. I think it's just by leading by example. You know, we still have a mission at hand. You still have to work out. You still got to watch film, and you still have to attack practice with everything you got in you. And so understanding that, you know, when we play Green Bay in, I guess, a little less than 2 weeks, you know, they're not going to be, you know, take it easy because, you know, we're going through what we're going through. So the mission still stays. And it's still, you know, our coaches talk about still evaluations going on. So guys still trying to make the team. And so I for me, it's just leading by example, you know, and you have to be able to compartmentalize. You have to be able to, you know, shift in and out, you know, to still, you know, keep that humanity part about you, to be tapped into what's going on around you. But when you step inside the arena of this game, you kind of have to go to a different place. And I think just you can show that better. You can tell it.
Amy Just, the advocate.
Yeah, I asked the same to Cam. Are you looking forward to practicing today just to get your mind off of all of this?
I don't know if I'm looking forward to it to get my mind off of it. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the process. I enjoy obstacles and adversities and pushing myself to focus in the middle of those obstacles. I feel like that's when I do my best focusing. When there's a obstacle or adversity in front of me that feels insurmountable, because I know I can conquer it, you know? And so like, that's my mentality. And that pushes me into that pressing pushes me into a more focused state. And I enjoy that. And so I think when we go to practice and, you know, working out and, you know, all of it, it's the understanding that I can only be kind of calm in this situation. Like, that's going to be the most beneficial place. And the way I get there is becoming more focused and understanding that I have to put things in certain perspective. And so the perspective of knowing, you know, my family is safe and healthy. So that's a reason to praise God, understanding that we're in a chaotic and limbo situation, but it's people going through way worse right now. And our heart, in my mind, and my heart is with them, but also understanding that we have a job to do, and that mission, you know, can't be forsaken or lost, you know, because of what's going on around me. And so all of that is kind of going on, and it's, you know, for lack of better words, it's almost like being in the eye of the hurricane. And so, you know, with so much going on around you, the most peaceful place is in the middle, where it's kind of calm. And I think that's the place that I play the game from. And so I look forward to practice for that reason.
Last question for Rod Walker, the advocate.
Hey, Demario, we talk a lot about the Saints and the leadership in their locker room. Do you feel like this team is, and you play with some other teams, but you feel like this team is probably better equipped to handle this type of situation than most teams in the league, just based on the leadership in the locker room?
By far, any team I've been on, I think this team is most equipped to handle this type of situation and scenario, just because of the type of culture that's here. And it's a bunch of guys who've been in and experienced a bunch of situations and adversity. And I think New Orleans Saints is the entire culture, which is not just the team, it's the city, is a resilient one. So it's built to almost handle and withstand these type of conditions. And so, but also the uniqueness of this team, we've been in a lot of situations, and one thing you realize is these guys know how to be ready come game time. And so I don't think there's any concern there. So from both standpoints, you know, culturally, we're built to be resilient in times like these. And so, and a lot of times being resilient is just seeing it through, and not, you know, backing down from it or trying to avoid it, but just, you know, meeting it face on and seeing it through. And then from a team standpoint, a lot of times it just comes from, you know, being able to block out the noise and be prepared. And I think, you know, you've gone to battle with enough guys in this locker room to know that they know how to do that.